We were staying in the mountains near Tahoe, and she woke up in the morning, 2 a.m. I can't move my legs. I can't move my legs. Couldn't move. So we're like, okay, well, maybe it was a nightmare, something like that. She went back to sleep. We woke up the next morning. She couldn't move her legs at all. So my husband and I looked at each other with a new baby we had too, and we're like, okay, well, it's time to go down to the emergency room. Went down to the emergency room in Reno and had the doctors take a look at her, and I guess she had an infection in her right hip. After 4 days in the hospital on her family vacation, we were sitting there and they said, okay, well, the infection had gone down. So it wasn't this crazy infection that they had thought it was. So they gave her some antibiotics, sent us home. So we went back to our hotel room, just getting settled in. She's laying down watching some TV. Her other hip starts hurting and she can't bend it and she can't move and she can't walk. So I get a hold of the hospital and our same doctor that we had, and we were sitting there talking to him, and I'm out in the hallway because I was a wreck, and he was like, she has rheumatoid arthritis. A 2-year-old has this rare form of arthritis for kids, and we need to immediately go back to Denver. So we called Southwest, got our flights changed, and immediately that night took her on a plane home and filled her up with anti-inflammatory, Advil, stuff like that. And I think we even maybe gave her a Benadryl to try and calm her down so we could move her and physically get her on the plane. Get her home late at night. The next morning we get an emergency visit with our pediatrician, and while we're there he said, okay, well, there's no redness, no swelling, and by this time the pain had gone down to where she could kind of walk and stuff. So he said, go home, give her more Advil for the next couple days, and if this isn't better, give us a call back. So we go home, give her Advil round the clock for the next 3 or 4 days, and it went down. She could walk again, was running around perfectly fine. So we didn't think anything of it. Well, 2 weeks later, she can't step on her right leg. We go to the emergency room. You know, of course, this always happens at night on a weekend. So we go into the emergency room, have her looked at. They do blood work. They do everything. They can't find anything. They said, oh, well, this is, some kind of kids hurt their knee. But she didn't hurt her knee. She woke up and this was the day that we had. No, just give her ibuprofen for the next couple days. So that's what we did. We went home, gave her Advil around the clock, and then in 4 days, she was back to being fine. 2 weeks later, she wakes up in the middle of the night and she can't move her neck. She can't bend it, she can't twist it, she can't do anything. So my husband and I looked at each other again. We go to Children's Hospital. We're like, if there is a specialist, they would be there. So middle of the night, we grab her, and my husband has to hold her by the neck like this because she can't move, and anytime we move the car, it just hurt. So he has her in the back seat just holding her neck. So we go into the emergency room, get checked in, we see the doctor. Oh, she doesn't have meningitis, so you can go home. She still can't move her neck. Well, we don't like to give x-rays or CTs to little kids. So since she doesn't have meningitis, you can go home. Just give her Advil for the next couple days and it should be fine. Well, this is not okay. This has been a month and a half of just emergency room visits and my daughter not being able to walk or play or anything. So we kind of had enough, and my sister was working with Dan and helping him out in the office getting everything set up and suggested we come in. So, and my sister had been talking to Dan about this and was like, no, there's just something else. There's something else. And so after that, when the emergency room doctor at Children's had said, I'm crazy, that this is normal for a 2-year-old, that just keep on doing what we're doing. So we came in to see Dan, and he asked us all these different questions that we didn't even think of. Is she growing okay? How is her eating? All these little things that, as a parent, they go through fluctuations all the time that you don't really pay very much attention to. Well, she hadn't really been growing over the past 6 to 8 months, and 2-year-olds shoot up like crazy and they have these huge growth spurts. Well, she just wasn't. We did saliva and stool sample, and of course she was potty training at that point, which made the stool sample really fun to get. But we had those done, and she ended up having this, I wish I could remember the technical name for it, She had this parasite in her gut that is a weird parasite to have, and we have no idea where she got it, and it attacks your joints like arthritis does. So it presents the same symptoms of juvenile arthritis, and left untreated, and it can cause really damaging problems. Dan had laid out a plan that we needed to be on, and it was a diet change, which 2-year-olds love chicken nuggets and mac and cheese and spaghetti. So he sent us home with a packet and a sheets and all these things that we needed to do. So I spent 2 weeks cooking, no flare-ups at all. Let's see, it's been 2 years since we first started. Well, 2 years in July is when she first started having her problems with her leg. And when we started the treatment in November, we went through all of that we did 8 months of hard dietary restrictions. I guess this particular parasite fed off of like sugars and processed food. And so removing all of that was very hard, but it was the best thing that got rid of it. They're amazing. Dan is amazing. My kids call him Uncle Dan.